everyone, today we're going to be solving one-step equations. An equation is like a balancing scale because both sides of the equation has to be equal. So whatever you do on one side of the equation, you have to do on the other side. For example, if we were to add 3 stars on one side of the scale, we would have to add 3 stars on the other side of the scale to make it equal. The same goes for subtraction. If we were to subtract 3 circles from one side, we would also have to take away 3 circles from the other side so the scale stays equal. So I bet you're wondering what the 3 big questions are. To be able to solve one-step equations, you need to ask yourself 3 questions. Question 1, what is a variable? Question 2, what operation is performed on the variable? And question 3, what is the inverse operation? A variable is a quantity that may change within the context of a math problem. A variable is usually represented by a letter or symbol. So for example, in this problem, 1 plus x equals 3, x would be the variable. Another big question that we had is what operation is performed on the variable. So an operation is what you are doing in the math problem. It can either be subtraction, addition, multiplication, or division. The inverse operation is the one that will undo what is being done to the variable. So for example, if we were adding in the problem, the inverse of adding would be subtraction, the inverse of subtraction would be adding, the inverse of multiplication would be division, and the inverse of division would be multiplication. So it's really just the opposite of the two. When I first look at this slide, I want to ask myself the 3 big questions. Question 1, what is the variable? The variable in this equation is x. What operation is being performed? The operation being performed is addition. What is the inverse of addition? It is subtraction. The way we would solve this problem would be to subtract 3 on both sides. 10 minus 3 equals 7, so our final answer would be x equals 7. Our next problem is subtraction. So when we look at this problem, we want to ask ourselves, what's the variable? Our variable is x. What operation is being performed? It is subtraction. And then how do we undo subtraction? That would be addition. So you would add 10 to both sides. 30 plus 10 equals 40. X equals 40. Our next problem is multiplication. We want to ask ourselves the 3 big questions. Question 1, what is the variable? The variable in this equation is b. What operation is being performed? That is multiplication. And then the inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 5 to get b by itself. 20 divided by 5 equals 4. So our final answer would be b equals 4. Our last problem is 2 divided by b equals 10. We want to ask ourselves the 3 big questions. What is the variable? Our variable in this equation is b. What operation is being performed? The operation is division. And then we want to ask ourselves the inverse of division, which is multiplication. So we would multiply both sides by 2. 10 times 2 equals 20. So our final answer would be b equals 20. Now you try. You guys can work independently on these 4 problems. The first one is an addition problem. The second one is a subtraction problem. The third one is a multiplication problem. And the last one is a division problem. You guys can work independently and see what answers you come up with. So when you guys are doing one-step equations, just remember the 3 questions, which are what is a variable, what operation is being performed on the variable, and what is the inverse of the operation. You also have to remember to always check your work and then always do the inverse operation that is being done